Hey there, VC HHD students. My name is Andy. I'm a VC Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video, we're looking at the VCAA 2025 HHD sample exam. Question number two, suggested sample answers. Before we dive into this video, there's a range of different ways to engage with the health resources hub. If you're on YouTube at the moment, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, and that means you'll get alerts to all of our new videos as they come out between now and the end of the year, including in the lead up to the HHD exam. Got our website, the hrh.net.au, where there's opportunities for HHD students and teachers, so please check that out. Also got our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook pages where you can follow us and get alerts to our new videos and other opportunities, and also our email info@hrh.net.au if you'd like to get in touch. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder, if you are a Unit 3 and 4 student and you're looking for some great course notes to help you to prepare for the exam this year, to make sure you're not missing out on any of those key concepts, we have got a link on our website. If you head to our website, you'll see there's a student drop down that'll take you to this page. So you can head there and fill out this form, and we'll be in touch about getting access to our course notes and practice questions. And these cover all of the different outcomes across Unit 3 and 4. So you can head there if you'd like a copy of those. Okay, so we're looking in this video at question 2 from the 2025 sample exam released by the VCAA. I talked about in a previous video that unfortunately there aren't sample answers that are released for this exam. So I've got here some suggested sample answers in this video. So we'll have a look at question number 2. So question 2 is asking you to describe the relationship between social health and well-being and spiritual health and well-being with reference to the way in which each dimension has an impact on the other. So essentially here, okay, what you would be expected to do in a question like this is make a link from an example of social health and well-being to spiritual, and then go back again, okay, to the social health and well-being dimension. So you probably could do that the other way around as well. So go from spiritual to social and back to, okay, spiritual, and depends, okay, on which way you would prefer. Just keep in mind when answering a question like this that the dimension that you start with and the example of that dimension, you need to make sure you go back to a different example of that dimension when finishing your response. And so this is definitely a type of question I think that is worth practicing for all of the different types of dimensions of health and well-being in the lead up to the exam. So you could imagine instead that this question says here the relationship between the mental health and well-being dimension and spiritual health and well-being dimension, or you could replace social, okay, with physical. So you could replace it with any of the other dimensions and practice doing, okay, this style of question, and that way you could be well prepared in case this style of question pops up in the exam this year. So before we have a look at a sample answer, just a reminder, there are a couple more of these HHD exam revision lectures I'm running for ACE still coming up on the 5th of October and the 15th of October this year. They're both running online, so you can join from anywhere in the state in Victoria. In these sessions here, I'll be going over exam strategies and advice for section A and B in the exam this year, as well as covering all the key concepts across Unit 3 and 4. So if you head to book.acevc.com, you can place a order for one of the lectures, and you can also bundle that together with the revision questions book. You can see there that's got over 500 marks worth of practice questions for HHD across Unit 3 and 4, as well as sample answers for all of those. It also has a full trial exam and a full chapter on answering questions related to section B in the exam this year. So that's all at book.acevc.com. Okay, so let's have a look at one suggested sample answer for this particular question. So you can see here it says that participating in a sporting team may lead to meeting new people and developing and maintaining relationships with them. So that's obviously a link into the social dimension of health and well-being. Then it says that these relationships may give someone a sense of hope for the future, knowing they have friends to support them. So that's a link into the spiritual dimension of health and well-being. You can see that sentence then ends and starts with a fresh sentence that says, this sense of hope may encourage continued participation in the sporting team with friends, helping to make positive contributions to groups within the community. So you can see that's coming back to a different example of the social dimension of health and well-being. And so that's what I was talking about earlier, that you need to make sure that those two examples of the social dimension of health and well-being, your one at the beginning and the end, aren't the same. Otherwise, that would be considered double dipping. So you can see here as well, okay, that it's separated into sort of two separate sentences, and that second sentence starts with sort of a link back to that example of the spiritual dimension of health and well-being, just to really sort of make it clear how that's then linked on to your second example, the social dimension of health and well-being. And so that's important because you can see that generally when it comes to the mark allocation for this question that was worth 2 marks, the marks are allocated for those meaningful links. So a meaningful link between social and spiritual health and well-being, and then a meaningful link between spiritual and social health and well-being. It's not necessarily, okay, the examples of the dimensions that the marks are being awarded for, but it's more the links that are happening between them. Obviously, examples need to be correct and relevant, but it's about those sort of links, okay, that are important when it comes to the mark allocation. So as I said, this is something that you could practice for all of the different dimensions of health and well-being and how there are those sort of relationships between them in case this type of question comes up in the exam this year. We will be sending out, okay, as part of our free student newsletter, some great exam preparation resources and advice. So if you head to our website as well, the hrh.net.au, you'll see you can still sign up to our free student newsletter if you'd like to get access to some of those. And as I mentioned, there is this revision questions book if you're after some extra practice questions like the ones we've seen today. Okay, you can head to book.acvc.com and place an order for that, and it will come to you in the post. Okay, thanks so much.